The 10 most horrible execution methods in history. 1. Breast cleaver, breast pincer. Breast ripping was the method of torture used in Germany and France until the late 19th century, for both torture and interrogation. This method was applied to those who committed adultery, deliberately abortions, had children out of wedlock, sorcerers, and blasphemers. The claws on the tool were applied to the naked body, either cold or hot, severing the nipple or chest, causing the offender to bleed to death. 2. Garrote, stretching tool. This method of execution, especially in Spain. It was widely used as a torture tool. The part of the collar, which was made entirely of iron, would come to the neck of the victim. There were screws or nails in the back of the torturer's spinal cord. Thus, the spinal cord of the criminal would be crushed and he would die of breathlessness. The purpose of this torture method was to make the criminal talk and to die in unbearable pain. 3. The blood eagle. A technique ascribed to ancient Norse warriors. Mixed brutality and poetic imagery in a way that only the Vikings could. First, the victim's back would be hacked open and the skin ripped apart, exposing the spinal column. 4. Saw torture. Saw torture, which is one of the most used torture methods in Europe, has been widely used because it is used from materials found in almost every home. In this torture method, the criminal is standing upside down, hands tied, and feet tied to the stake. Since the blood flow was provided upside down, the victim was started to be cut between the legs. Due to the position, the guilty person was upside down, so he was conscious for a long time and felt the pain more. Those who were punished were those who committed adultery, engaged in witchcraft, rebelled, and acted disobediently. 5. Spanish donkey. This torture was the method of torture used especially in Spanish Inquisition courts. On a wooden block with a pointed top, the victim was placed on the pointed block with his hands tied behind his back, like riding a donkey, and weights were tied to his feet. Weights could be increased or decreased according to the crime committed. But usually the weights continued to be given until the victim split in half. 6. Impalement. Most famously used by Vlad the Impaler, 15th century ruler of Wallachia, in present-day Romania, an inspiration for Count Dracula, the act of impalement has a long, grim history. While images tend to depict people skewered through the midsection and then held aloft in a manner that would almost certainly bring about a rapid death, the real process was a much longer, horrifically drawn-out ordeal. 7. Boiling to death. A slow and agonizing punishment, this method traditionally saw the victim gradually lowered feet first into boiling oil, water, or wax, although uses of boiling wine and molten lead have also been recorded. If the shock of the pain did not render them immediately unconscious, the person would experience the excruciating sensation of their outer layers of skin utterly destroyed by immersion burns, dissolving right off their body, followed by the complete breakdown of the fatty tissue, boiling away beneath. 8. Keel hauling. Walking the plank might not be the most pleasant of deaths, but it seems moderately more humane than the other favored maritime punishment of https://allthat'sinteresting.com/keel hauling, eel hauling. 9. Scavenger's daughter. Almost all of this chair, which was used as a torture tool in the Middle Ages, has between 500 and 1500 steel nails. These steel nails used were attached with screws to pierce the flesh of the victim and penetrate deeper. In fact, sometimes the torture device had places to put fire in order to increase the intensity of the pain. The person to be tortured would be tied tightly to the chair and could not move because of the nails stuck in his body. This torture method is used in Germany, Italy. It was used by Spain, France, and other Central European countries until the end of the 19th century. 10. Being hanged, drawn, and quartered. First recorded in England during the 13th century, this unusually extreme even for the time mode of execution was made the statutory punishment for treason in 1351. Though it was intended to be an act of such barbarous severity that no one would ever risk committing a treasonous act, there were nevertheless plenty of recipients over the next 500 years. See you in the next video. Have a good time.